could really do with some biscuits right now, actually. And I've got a zip. Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do the British tag, as you can see from the title. This was started by the lovely BEAUTYCRUSH, and there's some good questions, so I want to get right into it. I've got my tea at the ready, as that's one of the requirements, in my favourite love mug, which is kind of like a pale bluey green colour, and it goes really well in my kitchen, and let me get right into it. I probably have like 2 or 3 cups a day, and I used to drink English breakfast tea. That's my favourite, really milky breakfast tea with 1 sugar. But because of my kind of recent change in my diet and my fitness and my eating, I now drink fresh mint tea, which helps loads with my IBS, and I love it as well. And I substitute the sugar with honey, and I probably have like 2 cups a day. Oh my god, roast dinner. I love a roast dinner. I hardly ever have one, but I do love it. And my favourite part of a roast dinner has got to be the roasted potatoes with lots of rosemary and thyme and garlic. Also roasted parsnips, but oh, you've got to love a Yorkshire pudding. This is one of my absolute guilty pleasures in life, dunking biscuits into a cup of tea. I love rich tea biscuits, I love chocolate digestives, I love butter biscuits, but my favourite, my ultimate favourite is shortbread biscuits. I love dunking a shortbread biscuit. I'm so bad at dunking as well though. When I dunk it, it normally always goes in tea, and then I have to scoop it out with like the next biscuit. Do you guys do that as well, or is that just me? I always hold it in for too long. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I know you just gotta dunk and eat, but I tend to just hold it and maybe even forget about it, and then it's like I have tea with lots of biscuit crumbs right at the bottom. So one of my favourite it's probably got to be, favourite pastime's got to be netball. I play netball once a week, or I try to as much as I can. I love it. It's very British. I know lots of other countries do play it, but it's kind of like known to be quite a British sport. We do play it in school when we're growing up. All the girls tend to play it. If you don't know what it is, look it up online. It's kind of similar to basketball, but just kind of less movement, but still really tiring. This is so easy. My favourite word is dodgy. And so many of you guys might be like, dodgy, what's that? Like, I know like Americans don't use the word dodgy, and that's why I love it even more. Just because I love, it's just such a cool word, dodgy. It's so dodgy. And it means, just for the translation purposes, it means shady or sketchy in kind of American terms. We use shady and sketchy too, but it's got to be dodgy. It's just such a cool word, dodgy. You're so dodgy. This is a fun one. My favourite's got to be dog and bone for phone, and Adam and Eve for believe. If you live in the East End of London, you probably hear them all the time. People say them quite regularly, but they're fading out a little bit more, which is a shame, because they're just such a London, kind of quintessentially London thing. It's like a whole language, and there's so many that I don't even know. I'd love to meet like an old-time Londoner and get to like hear some of them. That'd be so cool. Favourite sweets. Oh, popping candy. Do you guys know what that is? I'm not sure what it's called everywhere else in the world, but here I think it's called Fizz Whiz. And I love it. You put it in your mouth and it pops and tingles on your tongue. That is so fun. And nowadays I've seen a lot of people use it over cake decorations as well, and put it on cakes, which is quite cool. I love fizzy cola bottles. I love fizzy cola cubes. But my favourite's probably got to be Parma violets. They taste like chalk, and a lot of you might be like, chalk? But they're just so good. They taste like perfume chalk. And I know perfume chalk doesn't sound that appealing, but I absolutely love them. I used to eat them as a kid all the time. I used to have a stash with me all the time, and like they were just like my go-to sweet. This is an interesting question. When I saw it, I did have to think about it, because I've never really thought about what I would name a pub, but then I think it would be something to do with bushy. Just because one of my best friends, he always calls me bushy, just because he's known me for many, many years, pre-straighteners, pre-Brazilian blow dry. My hair is crazy bushy, frizzy, big, so the name bushy's always stuck. So it'd probably be like bushy and the moon, or something like to do with nighttime, because my name is Nisha, which is, I was named Nisha because it means night, and I was born at night, so it'd probably something to do with the moon or the stars or night, so bushy night, bushy night. Bushy and the moon, bushy stars, I don't know, the bush and stars, something like that, something along those lines, something to do with probably my hair and my name. Oh, number one, but there's so many British people that I admire and that inspire me. It's mainly sports people. I love sports and I love people like Johnny Wilkinson in the world of rugby. He is a huge inspiration for me. He seems like such a great guy as well. But also like Jess Ennis and Mo Farah from the athletics world, because I'm a huge follower of athletics. I love those guys. Anyone like, to me, like a number one British person should be someone that's kind of worked really hard for something and achieved big things under pressure. But also, I mean, I'm not a huge follower of politics, although I do follow it a little bit, just to, it's always good to know what's going on in the world. And also someone like Princess Diana, who was a major humanitarian helper, and she just helped so many people and touched so many lives. So I mean, she's got to be up there, right up there with the, you know. But this question, I wasn't sure if it had to be British, but I've chosen a few. The obvious one is Topshop. Pure Britishness, and love it. Proud that Topshop is British, because Topshop is one of my favourite stores. I love it, like I love. But I also love the store Paper Chase. I don't know if you guys know it, but it's kind of like a cool W.H. Smith's, and it just has so many cool things in there. I could spend hundreds of pounds in Paper Chase, but I have to just stop myself from going in there. And restaurants, I was thinking about this, and you know, what is more British than a curry house? There's nothing more British than a curry house, and there's one in North Finchley. I love it. There's no frills, it's not even like, there's nothing fancy in there, but the food is amazing, and that has got to be my absolute favourite restaurant in London. I love Indian food, and that's one of them. There's loads of restaurants that I love, but not necessarily British food, and you know, that's not even British food, but I would just, I mean, maybe it is, maybe Indian food is British food now. I don't even know, like, you know, it's ingrained in us. Indian food is such a massive part of British culture. When I think British songs, you've got to think Spice Girls. You've got to, like, every song is just so British. They're just so British, and I'm proud of that. Like, they were just so good in their time, and you know, and they've done really well. But a current song that pops into my head is "Stay With Me" by Sam Smith, and you know, he's British, and that song is amazing. And I'm trying to think of other classic British songs, but I'm really struggling. I guess someone like Oasis songs or Blur, they're very British, and back in the 90s I do think of like some of their songs like Wonderwall. But yeah, probably like the Spice Girls, Wannabe. No, hell no. No, I'm not into Marmite at all. I'm very proud to be British, so I really enjoyed doing this tag, and I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.